Hello everyone, let's get your worm bin set up. Alright, so we've got the liners on the bottom to protect the floor. You want to set them down, and then you're going to want to insert the first tray and screw in the nozzle. Next you're going to put on the strainer and then add your first bin and mat. So for the next layer, take the cloth and wrap it around a piece of cardboard. This is going to help to hold in the moisture so that it doesn't get too wet or dry, and it adds a nice balance. It will decompose after time and you can replace it then. Right, and if you want to, like I did, you can use the box that it came in so that you can recycle that and get some good use out of it. Alright, we use worm castings here to give the worms some good soil. It's the best way to get them started. You already know that it's well balanced. This will ensure that they can thrive. It's going to help them to relax because they've just transitioned into being relocated, so it helps them to be very happy. Now, the block that you've received, you're going to want to soak in some water and let that start to decompose as you continue to fill with the rest of the ingredients. So you notice here we have the worms that were bought, and we bought them from a place online. We'll link it in the description below. But I didn't use them right away. It took about maybe a month before we actually were ready to transition them into their bin. We fed them while they were in that bin. We didn't want to relocate them too soon because they had already been shocked by being taken out of their original housing. So in order to help them thrive, we gave them pretty soft and mushy pears. This is not shown in the video, but those pears, they love melons, they love soft fruits, so especially watermelon. And in the summer, we always give them watermelon rinds and a little of the watermelon itself. And I'm telling you, they will reproduce like crazy. They really love the melon. I found that in the wintertime, so we can get pears, they responded in a very similar way. So if you look at the video, you'll see that the little tiny little white things that look like seeds are actually their little baby eggs, and you'll see them moving around and moving around happily. So that's how you can tell that the worms are thriving. Another way that you can tell that they're happy in their environment is that they will not try to escape the enclosure. If you have worms escaping, it means that something is off and the balance isn't right. So just like when you're happy and comfy under your blankets, you try to stay there. The same way with the worms, they will let you know by the way that they act and interact with each other whether or not they're happy. So the base layers, or the bottom layers, we didn't put any food in. That's just kind of to help with the drainage. The third and fourth layers, we added the apples and whatever else we had left over in the fridge at the time. Any grains that are going bad. So the best way for you to look at your worms and to imagine when you're thinking about feeding them is to feed them a vegan diet. They don't like salt and they don't like citrus. I've seen different people say that they don't mind putting a little in here or there. I do not give my worms any salt. I don't give them any citrus at all. But they do get a really, really good diet. Sometimes we will give them the leftover from us juicing. So we use a juicer, and I'll link the type of juicer that we use. We also use blendings sometimes if we've made smoothies, as long as there's no acidic anything in those smoothies. But you'll see that the apples make them quite happy. We added some grits to the mix. That helps them to digest their food, and they have been super, super happy ever since. So as you watch the video, you'll kind of get an idea of what was added, where it was added. We got a little help from our little people and our Doberman, because he's just the most curious guy in the world. He's a puppy, but he loved the process and even came over to say hi a couple times, so you'll get to see him. The amount of water was 2 cups. We added at the very end, just threw out, and then neatened it up a little, just to give them a little added moisture because of all the cardboard that we added. So they definitely don't need to be drowning. They don't like to be drowning. But if it does get too wet, you can always add more cardboard, more newspaper. You don't want to add anything like newspaper that has that plastic film on it, or paper plates, definitely no good. They have that plastic film on the outside. So that's pretty much it. And if you have any other questions, please put them in the comments below, and we'll be happy to address them. So thank you so much for taking the time out to watch one of our videos. We are beyond grateful. We wish you and your family the very best, and we hope to see you back soon. Thanks again, and goodbye.